NHL Frozen Frenzy starts at 7:10 Eastern Time, goes all the way until midnight. Games all day long, guys. Welcome to PuckTime on WagerTalk TV. Andrew, Carmine, and Prez here to break down 3 games, talk some props, and give best bets at the end of the show. Carm, good morning to you. What games are we breaking down today?
I absolutely love the NHL, Andrew. One game yesterday, one game tomorrow, so there'll be no show tomorrow. 16 games or whatever on today's card. Absolutely fantastic of the NHL to do this to us. But yeah, we got a full card today and a new segment for you guys. We're going to start it off with Tampa Bay, New Jersey. Then we're going to do Carolina and Edmonton. We're going to go to Andrew's prop segment where he's just printing up money. The guy's been unbelievable with these props. Then we're going to do the LA Kings, Vegas Golden Knights. I am going to do day one of the ladder challenge. It's 1K or bust with this ladder challenge. And then we'll do our best bet segment and close off the show. So action packed day. Um, the Prez is on the show today in his regular Tuesday spot. We golfed yesterday, but I'm sure we'll talk about that later on Wager Talk today. But we're going to go to him first because he's got a big play today on $5 Customer Appreciation Day on Tuesday in
Yeah,
the
hey
NHL.
gentlemen, nice to
And
nice to be here.
Prez,
Quick
Prez,
question to
we want to
Andrew
get right
McGinnis.
into it.
I know
I want to get right to it. We want to get right to it, but go ahead. You could have asked him before the show. I wanted to get to Tampa Bay, New Jersey.
Great start.
well
What's up, guys?
Andrew said the Frozen Frenzy starts at 7:10 Eastern, and now you want me to do a game that starts at 6:45. So I'm a little confused.
Does that factor into your handicapping?
Totally. Does
25
this
minutes?
game exist,
Okay.
or is it
6:45.
not real?
You know what it is, Prez? You know what it is? It's because some websites will
Hank, we
adjust to
start
my
over.
time and some won't. So on my pages, I thought, yeah, anyway, that's my answer to you. Sometimes I'll be on a website and I won't realize if it adjusted to my time zone or not.
Got it.
So I guess, yeah, over to you, Press. That's my answer.
Okay, so you want me to take apart this Tampa Bay, New Jersey game? Sure will. It is, before that, I in keeping with what Carmine mentioned, it is $5 Tuesday, and I have my first 4% NHL play of the year up tonight. Not only that, but it's a money line play. Last year, I had 9 of these plays. I went 7-2 in them. Over the last 2 years, I've had 30 of these plays. I'm 21-9 in them. This is a big play. And for only $5, I expect, how many people are in the room right now? 76. So I expect 75 sales just out of the room alone. Thank you guys ahead of time for that. Okay, Tampa Bay, New Jersey. So I was on the Leafs last night as a free pick. I took them in regulation. They won 5-2. And I'm going to go with the over in this game, guys. Tampa Bay now, I think it's 3 games in 5 days. They're going to have tired legs. Tired legs more equates to defending than anything else. The forechecking and the back checking will be lax. And on top of that, this team is scoring regardless. Yes, they only put up 2 against the Leafs, but before that, they put up 4 goals in 4 straight games, 4 against Ottawa, Vegas, Vancouver, and Carolina. So this is a team that has the ability to score, and we know that because they've got talent everywhere. They also have an incredible goalie, but where I think Tampa Bay lacks is on defense. This is a team that is going to struggle defensively all year, and we've seen that in the last 3 games. They've allowed 13 goals in their last 3 games, and this New Jersey team has got a ton of speed. One of the fastest teams in hockey, both defensively and offensively. This team is absolutely loaded with skill. And look, they just put up 5 against Washington and lost that game. I look at this game and I see a 6.5. I think we're going to get 8 to 9 goal game. I wouldn't be floored if it was 5-4 when all said and done. I'm looking to take over the total in this game. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Right, you're going to hear my thoughts. I kind of agree with you on the tired legs thing. You looked at Tampa yesterday. It wasn't a very good game for them in Toronto, and it wasn't a very good game for
Yep.
Vasilevsky in that one as well too. He gets
He's done,
pulled,
dude.
and I thought, no, he's not done. You keep
Done.
saying that every single year. Is Tampa Bay still tired from their 3 runs to the Stanley Cup? Come on,
No,
Prez.
no, no. They're well rested
And
now.
can I get a an analysis in that can get clipped so I can put it on thing, or is this going to be you talking over me the whole time?
Do you want me to answer that?
No, I don't. It was a rhetorical question. Anyways, with that said, Andrew, I look at this one and we talked about Vasilevsky getting pulled yesterday, and I thought maybe Cooper's pulling him early. He just doesn't have it. The team's not playing well in front of him defensively, and maybe he starts by pulling him. He starts in New Jersey tonight, but it's now been confirmed that Johansson is the starting goalie tonight. The price really hasn't moved on it. It's minus 150, plus 130. And the Devils have had a couple days off since that 6-5 loss. It was an ugly loss for them. They did battle back against Washington, but still allowing 6 goals to Washington on home ice is not something that this Devils team is going to do very often. And I think it's an adjustment period for the Devils because it's a new system. Sheldon Keefe trying to get the team to play better defensively, which they obviously did not do in this game. Or in that game. But I like them in this spot here. They're 5-2-1 to start the season. I think you draw a line through that 6-5 home loss and figure that they're going to play much better. They catch a Tampa team on like we talked about on the second of a back-to-back. And you've got to lay a bit of a price here. I don't want to touch the total, but Markstrom should be the confirmed goalie for tonight. It's minus 150. I feel comfortable playing at 150. I don't think I would go any higher on New Jersey because I think at that point, if this game was to get to minus 160 or minus 165 or even as high as 170, a little bit of that sharp action would probably come in on Tampa Bay, getting them at plus 150. You'd have to think that they would get some action there. Give me the Devils minus 150, Andrew, and I'm anxious to hear what your thoughts are on this one.
Carm, the frozen frenzy, game 1, and me and you, the gloves are off at center ice, man, already. A little bit of a different side here. Look, I think that when I look at these teams here, guys, I look at a lot of the times, I don't want to, I leaned towards the Senators against the Lightning on Saturday, but I don't like jumping in front of streaks. I don't like jumping in front of a winless team. I don't like jumping in front of a team that hasn't lost a game yet. Tampa Bay did end up losing that game. And then, of course, they lose to the Maple Leafs last night on the Monday night prime game there. But I think that 2 losses is enough to get a reality check. 2 losses in a row is enough to kind of wake them up. And to me, this price, whether it's money line, regulation, team total, puck line, whatever it might be, I just don't think it's good enough on the New Jersey Devils. So if I were to be playing this game, I think I would look towards the underdog here, and I would take the Tampa Bay Lightning plus 130. They're a veteran team that is well coached, and I think they will not be happy following last night's performance against the Maple Leafs. And after a slow start, despite facing a good goaltender in Shesterkin on Saturday, the Leafs came back and played really well against Tampa Bay. They controlled that game. They dominated that game from start to finish. They were the right side winners, and Tampa Bay will not be happy. So I'll tell you what, guys, I've been tracking these back-to-backs very closely this season. And one thing I've noticed is the teams that are struggling on the second half of back-to-backs in large part are the teams that have won the first part of the back-to-back. Teams that have lost, teams that have been embarrassed, teams that did not have their best outing. Those are the teams that I think overall are potentially a better off underdog the next day, or better off looking at the next day. If Tampa Bay were to have gone into Toronto and they won the game 4-1 or 5-2, something of that nature, I wouldn't like this play nearly as much. But this is a slight lean to the underdog here in this one with Tampa. I just like the fact that they had that 3-0 start, and then now 2 straight losses for them. Kind of a gut check, reality check here. I think they bounce back. So It's not my favorite play on the board by any means here, guys, but lean towards the dog.
Drew, I want to make a quick mention because while you're talking, I always check sort of the live lines at WagerTalk, which you guys should always be using because it's absolutely free and you can see some line movements as they happen. Sometimes it has to do with goalie changes or goalie announcements. But one of the sites that I have loaded up all the time when we do the show is RotoWire with the starting goalies, because as the team reporters put out tweets or what have you, they updated on the site. They had confirmed for Jonas Johansson, and now it's changed to just expected. And Markstrom, who was expected, has been changed to Jake Allen expected. So neither goalie is confirmed, but that tells me that when they change, as far as the Devils go, when they change a name on the site from who's expected to start from Markstrom to Allen, that it's likely going to be Allen. And I know some guys, I think right now, I'm looking at the chat, some guys are saying that a couple of the beat reporters are reporting that Allen is confirmed. So we'll have to see what happens with Tampa Bay and whether and Vasilevsky getting pulled yesterday, Andrew, was a sign that maybe he does start. As I mentioned, Johansson was on there as confirmed, but now that's changed back to expected. So we'll see. Maybe by the end of the show, we'll have some confirmation on both locked in. But I'll send it back to you to queue up the next game, Carolina and Edmonton.
Yeah, great info, Carmine. It's really important throughout the day for people to watch that. We love having Puck Time as the first show of the day on WagerTalk TV. But again, it's important for people to make sure they know the lineups and the goaltenders out there for all teams. And speaking of WagerTalk TV, guys, please, if you're here with us right now or you're watching afterwards, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, be notified every single time a show goes live on the air with the WagerTalk programming. As well, comment, like, and let us know what you think of the shows, and let us know what you are betting on this massive, massive NHL slate. All right, let's jump into Carolina and Edmonton. Edmonton short home favorites in this contest here. Two teams pegged to do pretty well, hopefully, this season based on the preseason rankings. We'll go myself, Prez, and then Carmine in that order on this one. And guys, I was just talking about how I felt about back-to-back situations, right? And certain scenarios where it can work out well going against the team on a second half of back-to-back. Well, Carolina absolutely owned the Pittsburgh Penguins last Friday night, 4-1. And when you have a really successful night on the first leg of a back-to-back, well, that's a team I potentially want to look to fade in that instance the next night. Well, the Blues win 4-3 on Saturday night. The back-to-back does not go well for the Carolina Hurricanes. Now they're playing this very Edmonton Oilers team. And guys, I want to go ahead and take a look at the Edmonton Oilers team total over 3.5. They're starting to gain chemistry with their peers once again. Some of these secondary guys, not the big name guys, but the secondary guys are starting to step things up a little bit here. And you've got the Oilers off a loss with just one goal scored on the road against the Dallas Stars. And you take a look at the two victories that the Edmonton Oilers have so far this season. And what did they do in those victories? They cashed that magic number. And you look at one of those guys, one of those victories, their first win of the season was against the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime. You take the regulation on that one, you lose. Team total, magic number of 4, you win that. And the best part about this, no regulation, no puck line, you're getting plus 120 on the over 3.5 goals for the Edmonton Oilers. And hell, they don't even have to win the game. Just get me to that number of 4. I think it's a great price here on the Oilers to do that. So that's my play here for this one. Lawrence, what are your thoughts on this game?
Why, thank you, Drew. Is that what we call you now, Drew?
Sure.
Okay.
Fine with me.
Okay, Andy.
No.
So what do I like
Drew.
here? I got a friend named Andrew as well. I have many friends named Andrew. It's Andy, Drew, Andrew. Anyway, who cares? What do I like here? Look, I like the Edmonton Oilers here. I'm not getting to the window on this game, but I do want to say to everybody, I think the Edmonton Oilers are a team we need to look at moving forward. Obviously, this is one of the best teams in all of hockey. And yeah, sure, they started off horrible. 0-3. Now they're 2-4. They just lost to Dallas 4-1. This is a team that is struggling to find defense. Skinner is in his Skinner-like form of stinking. But this is one of the best teams in hockey and a team that will get it going. And we got to look at this and say, man, when are we getting the Oilers at minus 130 at home? On top of that, Carolina Hurricanes are a team that I think will regress the season. This is not a team that is as good as they were last year or the year before. This is a team that's lost a lot of talent. And I think, Brenda Moore's time there might be coming to an end in the next year or two. I think Carolina is a bet against team this year. I think Edmonton is a bet on team right now. And that's where I'm going. This Carolina team, I hate that they lost their last game 4-3 to St. Louis. Had they have won that game, I would have released Edmonton as a big bet tonight. But they did lose it. And one thing we have seen with Rob Brindamore's teams is this is a resilient team that does not lose back-to-back often. This is a coach that is capable of motivating his players. And although I don't think they have the same amount of talent as they did last year, I don't want to be playing against them after they lose. So I'm going to pass, but I lean on the Edmonton Oilers here. Anyone?
Prez leans on the Oilers. I would love nothing other than to go against you on this game, but I like the Oilers too. I said, after that or prior to that Philadelphia game, that's probably a get well spot for them, and they start to string some wins together, much like Colorado, who I said are about to go on a run, and so far they're doing that. Listen, the game, they win a couple games. They go to Dallas. The game in Dallas, they dominated that game for the first 30 minutes or so. I think with the shots on goal, I think in the first period, was something like 11-2. They just couldn't solve Ottinger in that game, fresh off signing that contract that he did. But like you look at any of the analytic numbers in it, and they were pretty much even despite the 4-1 scoreline. Obviously, the last goal, an empty netter, but as far as XG goes, the Oilers were ahead on that one. High danger chances, slightly higher on that one. Obviously the one stat that I don't put too much thing on is the shots on goal. The shots on goal can be skewed at times as far as that goes. But the home team in this series has won 5 straight games, and you look at some of the score lines, and the score lines have just been huge with these teams. I'd rather lean on the Oilers than the total because the Oilers coming back from Dallas. I want to see how they play at home against a Carolina team that normally plays some very good defense. But we remember what Carolina did. They're 2-2 to start the season. Let's not forget what Carolina did at the beginning of last season. We all remember what Edmonton did because they absolutely stunk at the beginning of last season. But Carolina were shipping goals or allowing teams to ship goals on them constantly. They were one of the worst defensive teams, I think, in the first 2 or 3 weeks of that NHL season. But then again, they put it together because they are a very good team, and you expect them to put it together. With that said, the Oilers minus 130 seems like the right play for me here. The Oilers get a home win where they haven't been well at all, going 1-3. I think their first 4 home games, or 1-5, their first 4 home games. They're going to win a majority of their games at home, and Carolina is just another victim tonight. Give me the Oilers minus 130. And with that said, Andrew, you have been printing money with this your props segment daily on this show. Give us 3 props that we can make some money off of.
I appreciate it, Carm. Yeah, it has been going pretty well, guys. The prop playbook, 5-0 to end last week. It was great. 5 straight prop winners to end last week. And a reminder for guys at home and girls, it is $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com. Every single play released for every single capper. They get to pick 1 to list for just $5, and I have one in the NHL. It's a 4% play you guys can grab up at my page, plus 16 units to start off this season, so we'll hopefully keep that going. But to have some props here is really good. It's a big slate in the NHL. We're going to rock with Matvei Michkov, the rookie phenom from the Philadelphia Flyers, to get a point. Minus 125 is the price here. But guys, this Philadelphia team has lost a handful of games in a row. They go back home, first game off a road trip, and they lay an absolute dud against the Vancouver Canucks. They get a lot better of a matchup here against a Metropolitan Division foe in the Washington Capitals. Michkov is on the top line for this team. He's also on the number 1 power play unit. I believe he's a big part of this team, and he'll do a lot better at home than on the road. So minus 125 point for Michkov, I think is a really good play to make. Looking at Cole Caulfield from the Montreal Canadiens, we're going to go with him over 3.5 shots on goal. This is more of a head-to-head matchup play, as he's gone over 3.5 shots on goal in 4 straight games against the New York Rangers. He also has got a goal a game pace right now. He's got a goal in 6 games this season, a goal a game for 6 games. So shooting the puck a lot right now, scoring a ton for the Montreal Canadiens, and whether or not they have success tonight, I think he'll be shooting the puck a lot. And I love that even money plus 100 over 3.5 shots on goal. And last one, guys, this is one to pay attention to here for moving forward as well. Jeff Skinner from the Edmonton Oilers, over 2.5 shots on goal. Guys, this is plus 140. Plus 140, Jeff Skinner, second line player playing with Leon Draisaitl, is plus 140 to go over 2.5 shots on goal versus the Carolina Hurricanes. He's hit this in 4 straight games. Everyone's focusing all their attention on Leon, and all of a sudden people forget that Jeff Skinner is also a shooter himself. And I love that plus 140. Sooner or later, that number will be 3.5 for Skinner. So take advantage of it while you can at this over 2.5 at plus 140. 3 props, guys, some really good prices, and hopefully 3 winners in the props playbook segment here. Back to you, Carm.
Yeah, dude, I like those ones. I've got them marked down. I'm just going to continue to play them. I just bet them blindly, Andrew. I'm trusting you on these ones. You've had a great start to the NHL season. I will say, because I always believe in transparency, my weekend in NHL was nothing to be proud about. I haven't had any big plays. They've all been like 1%, 2%, 3%. But I'm looking forward to this week because there's a lot of spots this week, other than Monday and Wednesday, where there's only one game, where I'm going to step out and we're going to see threes and a lot of 4% plays. So hopefully clients are ready because they're about to get their inboxes flooded with plays. Andrew, you mentioned Michkov as one of your player props. I watched this guy play a couple of games this year, and he plays like he's 6'2", 215 pounds, throwing his body around, getting into scrums, but he's 5'10", 172 pounds. Kind of reminds me of this guy I'm going to throw this next game to, the LA Kings, Vegas Golden Knights. Prez, tell us who you're on this one. Are you 5'10", Prez, by the way?
5'10"?
Yeah, that's what Michkov is, 5'10".
Oh, okay. No, I'm not 5'10", dude. I wish I was 5'10", but it doesn't match my personality. My personality is 6'11". So my height is only 5'7". Okay, let's get into this game. Where am I going? So this is a client play. This is a 3% play I have up for my clients, Vegas Golden Knights and LA Kings. I like the over in this game. I'll be super short. I put it up at 6. It's now 5.5 in some places. So there's clearly money coming in against my thoughts, which is fine. I don't care what other people do. Why do I like the over here? Let me start by saying I think Vegas is a different team than they have been the last couple of years. This is a team that used to play slow, methodical hockey, great goaltending, good D, incredible back checking. Not so much anymore. They've redid their roster. This is a team that I think will ultimately play to the over most of the year, and they're already 5-1 to the over right now. They've allowed 4 goals against in their last 3 games. Florida, Tampa Bay, and even Washington all put up 4 goals on this Vegas Golden Knights team. And they scored 3 goals in their last 2 games against Florida and Tampa Bay. As for the Kings, this is a team that I think is going to play to the over all year as well. They're currently 2-4 to the under, but this is a team that's having 0 issue scoring right now. They just put up 4 on Anaheim, 4 on Montreal, 2 on Toronto, 7 on Ottawa. So I look at this game and I think to myself, although both teams are slightly heavy, there's talent everywhere. Both teams are not playing great defensively, and neither team has a world-class goaltender right now. And there's lots of depth up front on both teams. 6 is a low number. I think this is a 5-3 type of a hockey game. 8 goals. We're going with the over.
All right, going with the over. I'm not touching this game total-wise, Prez, but you know, I look at this game and I wish I could get a bit of a better price on the LA Kings. Like give me a plus 130, maybe a plus 135. I might have to settle for the plus 120 in this game. You talked about goalies, and yeah, it is Aiden Hill for. It looks like it's going to be Aiden Hill for the Vegas Golden Knights, and big save Dave Riddick, as Andrew and I love to call him, going for the Kings. But this is one of those ones where there's not a lot of data from this season as far as like road trips go and teams returning home. But if you look at the Vegas Golden Knights last year, they had a similar trip last year on the East Coast, finishing it off in Florida, where they did the Florida double against Tampa Bay and Florida. Then they head back to the West Coast. They didn't immediately go home. They had a stopover in Anaheim before coming home to play LA. And the stopover in Anaheim, they lose that game 5-2 against a Ducks team that is an inferior Ducks team and was all season. And the trip back just wasn't a good one for them. It's one of those. It's just a gut feeling more than anything else. And I know sometimes you don't want to bet on your gut when there isn't relevant data, but there isn't relevant data that you can use as 5 or 6 games into the season. But I'm taking the Kings here plus 120, Andrew. I think that is. I'm hoping that in looking at the WagerTalk live lines, I'm hoping that this price will continue to go up, and I may just wait to bet it come game time. It's actually dropped now. Vegas is now minus 125. The Kings are plus 105. So it's dropped since getting ready for this show. The thought process on waiting for a game, especially if it's the late one, is anyone who's following and betting NHL doesn't want to bet on the late games before the early games are done. Sometimes it's just not having the bankroll for it. They want to bet the early ones, and they want to bet the 9 o'clock games, and then when those are done, they want to bet the late games. It's kind of like people who don't bet the 4 o'clock games in the NFL to get the best number, but will bet the 1 o'clocks first, and then if they win, bet the 4 o'clocks. I don't think that's the way you're supposed to do it, but Kings plus money here is the play for me, Andrew. Give me your thoughts on this one.
I like it, man. Getting a pretty good price on that one as well. I'm going to stay off the side in this one. I'm on the same page as Prez there. I like the over here. 7th straight road game for the LA Kings, and back-to-back defensive masterclasses for the LA Kings against both the Montreal Canadiens and the Anaheim Ducks. I think things change a little bit here. I think that this Vegas Golden Knights team is going to be a little bit more of a back and forth, fast-paced team. They did lose some defensemen in the offseason. They also lost some 200-foot players, forwards that play defensive styles as well. I just think that things start to catch up to a team when they're on the road that much. I think it's a little bit crazy that LA Kings have not had a home game yet, when it feels like every single team has had their home opener, and LA is still traveling around America right now and finishing up their road trips. So I think that especially after 2 great defensive games against the Ducks and the Habs, 2 lower class teams, it's a big step up against the Knights. I think they'll be ready for it. I think they'll be a good team tonight, but I do think that both teams are going to put the puck in the net. And I'll tell you what, guys, it's a late game for all of us, but especially in my part of the world. And I think that it's worth staying up for if you're going to see a high-scoring game. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be staying up late, watching the goals flying in that hopefully, and cheering on the over 6.5 in that one. All right, Carm, you've been talking about this segment for a while now, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And we tried doing it one time, both of us, but you're taking this challenge on solo, the ladder challenge, man. Look forward to following along with you. Take it over.
Yeah, I don't want the ladder challenge, whether it's positive or it turns into like negative mojo to affect your player props, which are absolutely fire right now. And before I get to the player props, speaking of fire, because we were talking about the LA Kings, I watched the game against the Anaheim Ducks. I absolutely love the Anaheim Ducks, like the third jersey that they're wearing, that the orange or whatever it is. Those jerseys are absolute fire, man. I think we should grab a couple of those and maybe give them away on some contests here on PuckTime later on in the season, in the second half of the season. But those Ducks jerseys look like fire. So the idea of the ladder challenge, guys, is quite simple. I'll be doing it at DraftKings. It'll be it starts with $100 flat wager on a money line or a total or a puck line. And as long as it wins, I'm just going to keep rolling the full amount. It's 1K or bust. If it hits 1K, I will pull it out. I will keep half, and the other half I will donate to charities. So, and you guys, if we hit the 1K, we'll decide in the chat which charity gets it. And then I'll post a screenshot to make sure that you guys know that it actually did go to charity and not like those ones that say they do but don't. With that said, play one of the ladder challenge, and I thank our producer Dan for coming out with these fire graphics all the time, is the Nashville Predators. Yes, I am taking a team that is 0-5 to start the season. And a lot of speculation on this team heading into the season. They're going to have a good year picking up Stamkos. This is still a good team off to a bad start. I think they get their first win at home tonight. They're laying a $1.25 on this one. So it's 100 to win 80. So we'll have 180 if this wins. And they're catching a Bruins team right now that is on a road trip, but with a lot of travel. The Bruins started in Florida, then made the trip out to Colorado. Then from there, a short hop to Utah. And now they travel to back to Nashville for this game, all in the span of 8 days, 4 games in 8 nights. Maybe that helps the Nashville Predators get their first win of the season. That's what I'm banking on. So the first play and first step of the ladder challenge is the Nashville Predators minus 125. And let's see if we can make it to day 2, guys. One other thing I want to mention to you guys, if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. Join the ever-growing community here at WagerTalk. We have like 180,000, I believe, subscribers, and it's growing each and every day. And hit that like button. There are a ton of you guys watching this right now. Hit the like button. Show us that you appreciate the content that we put out. And with that said, we are going to finish this off with a best bet segment. And I will go to the Prez first to let us know what he has up on $5 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and give us a show best bet.
Okay, guys, I got a great bet for you guys. Before we get into that, as I said at the top of the show, I have my first 4% NHL play of the season. I'm not going to have a lot of these plays. 90% of my plays are 2%, 2 and 3% plays. This is a money line bet to give you guys perspective. I've had 30 of these plays in 2.5 years. I am 21-9. But my moneyline bets in the NHL are insane. 40-22 in the last 2 seasons of these bets. 40-22. This is a big play. It's a step out play for me. So make sure to take advantage of that. And it is only $5 freaking. Okay. What is my best bet for the show? It is the Buffalo Sabres at plus 130 against Dallas. And I'm just going to bottom line this right now. I think Dallas is a top 3 team in hockey, maybe the best team in hockey. This team is built for the playoffs. This team has got incredible goaltending, phenomenal defense, and a really good front 6. This team is ready for a long, long run all the way to the Stanley Cup. And this team is not going to lose a whole ton of games this year. Buffalo, on the other hand, is mediocre at best. They're a young team. I think they're going to vie for a playoff. I think one of either Ottawa, Detroit, or Buffalo has a shot at that final wild card. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Buffalo, but let's be honest here. These two teams do not compare. So why am I betting Buffalo? I'm not. I'm not betting Buffalo. I'm betting against Dallas. This is a horrible, horrible spot for this Dallas team. This is that fly to the East Coast, play one game, fly back west, play one game, fly back east, play another game situation. A ton of travel. They just went to Washington. They lost in Washington. Then after that loss, they came home and they took on the Edmonton Oilers. This Edmonton Oilers team is a team that is going to vie for home ice advantage against Dallas. They got up for that game. That was an emotionally important game, and they beat them 4-1, and now they get back on an airplane, fly back out east to play a meaningless Buffalo Sabres team that's not even in their conference. This is a shit spot for Dallas. We're going to get a young, hungry, up-and-coming, upstart home team as a dog. That's where we're going. Buffalo plus 130.
Wow, I like it. I will say, Prez, that I don't believe in someone who follows the Buffalo Sabres. I don't believe this team is a playoff team or will even vie for a wild card spot. I think their
Okay.
window or their ceiling, not their window, they're going to be jumping out the window, but their ceiling is probably about 85 to 86 points this year because they don't have two legitimate goalies. Luukkonen is a good goalie. He had a great season last year, but Devon Levi, whatever you want to call him, not Eugene Levy, he just hasn't proven anything at the NHL level. You need two goalies in this league to stand a chance. But anyways, with that said, good luck on that play. Everyone loves plus money. This one is not plus money. It's a game I talked about earlier. 5 straight wins by the home team when the Carolina Hurricanes meet the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to take the Oilers because a couple wins. They played a really good game in Dallas. You can play well and lose a game. It is when you lose a game and don't play well that the warning signals should come out. This is a good Edmonton team that's going to start stringing some wins together. You're getting them at minus 130 at home. You're not going to get them at home at this price very often, and it's just because the Canes are a good team as well too. Give me the Oilers minus 130. I have a play up for it's a 4% play up on in the NHL on $5 appreciation day over at WagerTalk, and an additional NHL card that is should be up after the show. And then if you enjoy soccer, Champions League, some big plays for me today. All those games go at 3 p.m. They're all on in one card. You can get that over at WagerTalk as well too. Andrew, close it out with a best bet winner of your own and send us home.
Carm, my best bet is over at WagerTalk for $5. A play I do like, though, that I mentioned on the show is the over in the Kings and Knights game. So for the show purposes, I'll make that my show best bet, over 6.5, hoping for a ton of goals. I already kind of broke down my thoughts on that one. But yeah, guys, plus 16 units so far this season. Total plays are going pretty well so far. We're up 10 units on those total plays. And I do have a best bet total up at WagerTalk for just $5. And guys, inside the analysis, inside the packages for Carm's play, for Prez, for myself, you're going to get deals. You're going to get more longer term specials. So you're paying $5 for the play, but you're also getting all kinds of great specials as well. Okay, guys, enjoy all the games. If you're a hockey fan, you got to enjoy tonight's games, and it's going to be a blast to watch. So thank you so much for being here with us. We all appreciate it. Best of luck, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Puck Time.